And that brings us to our last topic of the day, which is Rice up to the challenge. So we've already had a past video discussing the potential legal trouble, but as we've come to find out that the assault charges that were brought against Rashee Rice were ultimately dropped. He is at voluntary OTAs this week, which, as are a lot of players, as the Chiefs social media team put out. So Mahomes is there. You name it. Any other starter is most likely there today. Probably not Travis Kelce, because that's something that you can just sit out until you absolutely have to. We don't need Travis to be going through extra reps for no reason.
But injury last season.
Mm-hmm. But Rashee was also seen working out with Hollywood Brown down in Florida. So it's clear that Rashee is trying to bring all the attention of him back to football and not the legal trouble that we know that he is still in because of the car crash that he was involved in and the legal trouble that he's in there. I think we all still agree that he is going to get punished for that. The secondary, the now not real assault charge that was related against him, we reacted to. We didn't necessarily say it was, official and legitimate, but we had reacted to it as if it was and said that this is not the type of behavior that you can continue to show. You're a celebrity now. You can't be doing that. You can't be out in public doing things that a normal person would get in trouble for. You can't put bad spotlight on the Chiefs, et cetera, et cetera. So all that still being the case, but now these assault charges ultimately getting dropped. What standings does this place Rashee Rice in now?
It just puts him back into what he was before without the assault charges in my mind. That's it. It was already determined before all of this have happened that they were saying that you were potentially going to be suspended for half of the season. So that already came up into discussion. But now I think with the charges just being dropped for the assault case, it goes back to my regular mindset that people are saying eight games. I'm gonna go back to 4 to 6 still, just because I think due to the nature of the situation and the nature of the crash, with no one actually getting any life-threatening injuries. You have some people want to try to sue you to get that taken care of, but he kind of did it that already once all of that started coming out and saying that he was going to pay back for the rental that he destroyed. He was going to settle with those people that were injured in the crash as well. So he was already putting himself ahead of the issue when it happened. Now, I know that we've seen a lot of people say that, he left the scene, he did this, he did that. I see y'all in the comments. I hope y'all see this again. I still love y'all though. But for real, like at the end of the day, he contacted the police. He worked with them. He got booked. He can be held out, and then we'll see what happens when it goes to court. In the NFL, I think they already have their decision as well too. They were waiting for a lot of this stuff to happen, but I think they know the direction that where they're going to go. They're just going to see what the court does and what they're actually going to try to find him guilty with. And then, of course, if depending on if he's going to fight it or not, of course, probably not. If you're already working with them for it, you're probably just going to plead guilty, right? Just to get this over with, get this out the way. Of course, it's going to be on your record, but hey, this is something that you can do, work over time, be a good Samaritan in the community, and then your image will be back to normal right after that. Just I would still say 4 to 6 games. We should see him back after that bye week for sure, and that's how I see it.
Yeah, and I stand with you. I feel like it puts him in the same situation that he was in before he had this incident. Before he had the photographer incident, we're still at square one with Rashee Rice. If anything, it just takes a little bit of heat off of him. For now, pulls a little bit of those bad stories out of the media, and kind of exonerates some of the stuff that people have been saying and we have been saying coming from this situation. However, I feel like him working out with Hollywood Brown is kind of me just going back to my main thing that I said at the beginning of the pod is keeping the main thing, showing everybody that you're working on football, showing everybody that you're trying to better your craft, showing everyone that you have the ability to lock and hone in on your craft, and you're not just out partying and racing cars in your spare time. So I feel like this just brings him, shows that he's trying to paint the image that he is doing what he's supposed to be doing, which we have every right to believe that Rashee Rice is doing what he's supposed to be doing. He was working out with Mahomes almost every day until we started seeing all this other stuff happening. So I think that Rashee is just trying to really clean up his image, trying to paint himself in a little bit of different light going into the OTAs. And I don't, like you said before, I don't think the standing where he's standing as far as in the NFL eyes, I don't think it changes at all. I think he still will be suspended. We just don't know for how long or when, being that they're going to wait for the legal situation to work itself out first. And then the NFL tends to move after the legal situation has worked itself out. So at this point, it's hurting us the longer we wait and go into the season. If it happens during the season, I feel like it'll be a thing that makes the team worse. But if it happens early and we can figure it out, or happens after the season, it's something that we can figure out. It'll benefit us. But this is looking like something that's going to linger on, and we're just going to have to wait to see what we hear.
Right. So it's unfortunate that Rashee's name got slandered even more because of this. And now the air has to get cleared up to say that didn't happen. But ultimately the issue is because of Rashee's past and history already, it didn't seem far-fetched for that story to come out and to see some sort of legitimacy to it. And that's something that Rashee's going to have to work on for years if he wants to prove that he's changed and clean up his name and good Samaritan and whatever you want to call to say about him. It's good that he wants to show that he's all in on football. Let's show that even more by not having your name come out in random spots. Show that you are fully dedicated to football, because unlike Mahomes and Kelsey, he doesn't have enough history in the NFL to get these big time endorsements. And an issue like the assault charges before they were dropped is something that would scare advertisers and potential sponsors away from him. The NFL is still going to judge Rashee pretty harshly because there is a video of his car crash and him fleeing the scene. If the NFL has video of you committing a crime, you are going to get punished, and you are going to get punished harder and more severely than if it was just word of mouth and an arrest record. If there is video evidence that took place, the NFL reacts a little more harshly towards it. Right, wrong, or indifferent, we know that's how they react. They have one thought about how the Ray Rice situation is. A video comes out that completely changes how they judge the situation and the punishment that he was given. So I think we're not looking at a half the season, but we're still looking at substantial missing of time. And when you are coming into the season as the number one wide receiver for a Super Bowl winning team, that is costly. No matter what, that hurts the Chiefs' chances of three-peating. And if the Chiefs lose any of those games that Rashee Rice could have been a part of, he's going to get, some backlash for that. So I'm glad that he is clearing his name, and the latest incident is not legitimate, but it was ultimately just a distraction for the thing that is going to cost him several games and game checks, and hopefully not a Chiefs win on the schedule because of his missed time. I implore Rashee to continue to make these changes to his life and ensure that he's working on his craft and working on his character, and show Chiefs Kingdom and the Chiefs front office that he is all in on football, at least for the rest of his rookie contract, and see if by the end of his 4 years he's proven himself that he's all about football. He's no longer making headlines. He's no longer getting in trouble. And the Chiefs will still reward him for that because they reward good on the field play, no matter what situation you're in or what your history says. The Chiefs can overlook character concerns for a bit if you're proving it on the field. Once you stop being on the field, that's when the Chiefs may have a problem with you and what your extracurricular activities are. So I'm glad that this issue is not an issue, but it was a distraction for the major, bigger issue that came out first. And sure, it doesn't add on to that, but his first offense is severe enough that we all know he's going to get punished for it. So I agree with both of you that I'm right where I was after the first report. I'm glad that it's not building on those stories. But like I said, it doesn't seem out of left field for this to come up about him and need to get cleared up several weeks later. Because if the shoe fits, people are just reacting to what they read and what comes out. Same to everything else. If it rings just a little bit of truth to it, then people will run with it. So,
and when it first happened, I laughed because I was like, not this again. So with that coming out, like, great that it came out, but you're not lying. Initially, I was like, here we go again. Let's see what happens now.
Right. So let's hope that this is Rashee turning over a new leaf, that he wants to overcome those character concerns that now the public media have about him, that other NFL general managers had about him prior to him even being drafted. The Chiefs are not afraid of controversial players. When your controversy takes you off the field, that's when the Chiefs will have concerns with you. So we're going to say the same thing that we said when we talked about when this did come out. We're rooting for Rashee Rice. We're rooting for him to be a better human, a better outstanding citizen, so that he can continue to be a baller and a star on the Chiefs roster, because he was a highlight of last year. And when you have bad things happen, you want people to still remember you for your good moments. So now it's up to Rashee to continue to build up good moments on top of good moments, and hopefully leave these issues and character concerns in the past. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow us on all our social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media.
If you enjoyed that, make sure to check out the full-length episode below.